Good morning, students. In our previous session, we discussed about what is survey research and different types of surveys. In this session, we will cover phases in survey research. Our today's topic is phases in survey research. Survey entails a systematic collection of information, that is data, regarding attitudes, beliefs, behavior of the target population. There are three important concerns that have to be kept in mind while deciding to go for survey method of research. First is purpose of inquiry. Why you want to do this? What is your purpose? What do you want to know? Why are you going to conduct this study? So what is the purpose of your survey? What do you want to know? Number two, target population. It should be clearly defined who you want to cover in your population. Target population from which you will draw your sample. Availability of resources with the researcher. Then you need to check your resources available for your research work. It should be very clear to the researcher that what is the purpose of carrying out the research and what are the objectives of his or her work or research questions. So it is important to know the characteristics of the target population. This is very helpful in some ways, like it helps to develop a suitable design for the survey. And it helps us to understand how to draw a sample. And lastly, draw a timeline of the study. I am going to complete my work within this period of time. Another important consideration for survey research is availability of resources, time, funds available, and human resources. Survey research is a resource intensive exercise as it includes interviewing time, travel time, cost of travel, remuneration to interviewers, training, and supervision of the interviewers, construction and printing of tools for your data collection purpose, pilot testing is required, and finally data entry for data analysis purpose. Thus, a researcher must make a realistic estimation of available resources before undertaking any kind of survey method of research. So first is designing and planning phase. In this phase and in the process of designing, research question formulation is important. Then decide your survey design. Draw the appropriate sample from population, from your target population. Data collecting techniques. How we will collect our data. Construction of data collection tools if required. And pilot study. Finalizing instruments of data collection if it is a requirement in your research work. Second is data collection phase. In this phase, what a researcher is expected to do? Locating the respondents. Accessing the respondent. First, they will locate and then access the respondents. And field setup is important during this phase. And supervision and monitoring of data collection, which is very, very important. Next is data analysis and reporting, which includes editing in your work, coding, and tabulation and analysis. Finally, preparing your final report. Now, we will talk about advantages and limitations of survey research. So, survey research has some advantages. First is it is self-administered. It may be internet survey, which is very cost effective, or any type of survey. Generally, it is self-administered. Number two, it can be administered in geographically distinct and diverse location by sending your questionnaire to your respondents, by mailing them, by sending it, by posting them. So these are the some ways. Very large samples can be accommodated, making the results statistically significant. Different modes for administering a questionnaire is available with the researcher. Instruments of data collection are standardized, which implies more reliability and validity of the instrument which we are going to use for our data collection purpose. But this method has some limitations as well, like respondents may not recall answers to questions accurately, or they may not understand questions which seem simple to researcher because it is their understanding what they are taking that or what they are interpreting from them. So it is a problem. Some respondents may purposely give biased responses to impress the researcher. Yes, I like this. Yes, I do this. And they don't do that. They can answer, so it will create bias. Like your duration during which you study, or like do you study for 10 hours, 5 hours. So they can give wrong answers and they can provide wrong information to the researcher, which is not correct. So some respondents may purposely give, that's why word is used purposely, intentionally give biased responses to impress the researcher. Survey depends on the careful framing of questions or collection of data. Researchers need to ensure that the questions are valid and reliable. Surveys are increasingly using online methods, computer assisted techniques to make them easy and easily accessible for respondent as well. So today in this session we learned about different phases of research, survey research, and advantages and limitations of survey research. In our next session, we will cover tools of data collection in survey research.